So we've talked a lot about Pfizer and Moderna, AstraZeneca. We've talked about Ozempic. We talked about the horrors of Ozempic when we were talking about the X39 patch. A lot of you probably saw that. It's horrific. Big Pharma is so demonic. Everybody now knows. You come into contact with these pharmaceuticals, it's going to be harmful to your body. These big pharma corporations, these disgraceful groups of extremely wealthy people who helped release the murderous COVID-19 bioweapon clot shot death jab onto humanity. These people for decades have gone out of their way to make their products as addictive as possible, as damaging as possible, because that keeps patients coming back for more. They want you to be a lifetime subscriber to the medical and big pharma industrial complex. These people are among the greatest stealers of human life in world history. On a global scale, or even just a national scale here in the United States, you could compare these people to killers like Joseph Stalin and Genghis Khan, and you wouldn't be exaggerating. Actually, if anything, you'd be underselling just how murderous big pharma and big medicine truly are. It's no exaggeration to say that countless millions of people have had their lives completely destroyed or ended by pharmaceuticals. People have been forever changed. They walk into a doctor's office one day with a mild ailment, they get a prescription, they pick it up from the pharmacy, they go home, and it's all downhill from there. And this has been going on for a long, long time. These corporations simply don't give a damn if they kill you or if they maim you, because they're legally immune, according to the United States Congress of our occupied government. But unfortunately, we don't have immunity. We don't have immunity from big pharmaceutical side effects, even if it's something mild, even if it's not a narcotic or a bioweapon. Pharmaceuticals can kill you. They can hurt you. Again, we've talked about Ozempic. All of them. At this point, it's pretty obvious that what we've got going on medically in this country, it just isn't working. So we've been talking a lot about X39 on this program, and our next guest is here with us now to tell us how X39 helped her. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Stu.
Yeah. So, I mean, you went in for an injection. Take us
Yes.
from there. And then you've got other things, like something as recent as this morning.
Yes. So my rheumatologist has wanted me to try multiple biologics for quite some time, and I am not for that. I understand I have a degenerative condition, fibromyalgia, ankylosing spondylitis, other stuff, but I try to use natural products. So, and change my diet and, try to make sure you keep the stress down. But she's been pushing me and wanted me to be taking, first, it was something else that had horrible side effects, of course. And then with my condition, I have heard lots of success with Humira. And I was like, okay, even after researching it and being hesitant, I still was like, I'll try it. Well, the first time it was okay, but I got sick. And as a matter of fact, this year, the only thing I've added is the X39 patch and the X49 patch, but basically the patches. And so after I'd gotten sick, because my kids got sick, and I think it's because Humira lowers your immune system. And otherwise, I never get sick. I just don't. So I went ahead and did that one, and I knew I had blood work coming up. So I went ahead and did the second one. That's it. I was supposed to be taking this for over 6 months now. I have not been taking this. And I had a horrible reaction. And then, of course, my rheumatologist wants to say, oh, keep trying it. Maybe it was just a bad
I
batch.
think you need a new rheumatologist if you're even going to this person anymore.
It's one of those situations where I've seen her for a long time. We do not agree on a lot of things. She wants to get the flu shot. She's lost 60 pounds with Ozempic. She's definitely a pusher. And it's just, again,
Yep, new rheumatologist time.
yeah.
That sealed the deal for me. But anyway, I digress. That's a detour we don't want to take right now. But you're so right. And this drug that you said reduces the immune system and its tenacity,
Right.
that's true with so many different pharmaceuticals. It's true with the COVID-19 shots. Yeah, you take this thing, it breaks down your immune system, and then you get all the other bioweapons that they're concocting at some level 4 lab, at Fort Detrick,
Yeah.
and intentionally releasing on us to keep us as lifetime subscribers to the medical and big pharma industrial complex.
Oh, yeah. And it's ridiculous how much these things cost. Like, if my insurance didn't pay for it fully, I wouldn't be buying it. So, but yeah, I'm not going to try it again because,
Insurance, that's another detour we could take. That's the biggest
oh,
racket out there.
that's why
Um,
they prescribe so
but
much.
you, so
They're
you
like,
had a negative reaction to this. You did
yeah.
X39, and what happened?
Well, that's just it. It's like I put the Benadryl cream on it, I put ice on it. It was hurting me. And so I needed to go to bed. I didn't start to feel like anaphylaxis, like I needed an EpiPen, but I was kind of worried, you know? And so this happened at the end of the evening when I sat down and put my leg up, and that's where my injection site was. So after icing and everything, I started thinking about how people who've had bee stings and bad reactions have used the X39, and within 20 minutes, the swelling goes down. So I took my X39 off that I'd been wearing, and I put it on one side of it, and I got another one, put it on the other side of it, went to bed, woke up, it was gone. I left it on all day, and then I took it off, and then again it swelled up. So it was like the same time 24 hours later, it started to swell up, only it seemed worse. It wasn't red, but it was a huge hard lump. So I took another X39 and I put it right on top of where the needle had gone in. Gone. It hasn't come back. It took care of it.
I'm supposed to look shocked, but I'm not, because I've
No.
I've now heard these. Look, I read emails, hundreds of them. I get these testimonials that come on and talk to me a couple of times a week. I have conversations with other people. I see in real life the people that I love and care about that I've introduced to LifeWave and this
Right.
X39 technology, and I see what's happening, and I see the miracles that this thing is working without the introduction of chemicals or pharmaceuticals or something that was produced in some lab somewhere.
Right.
This is using your body's own light. Like, this is using your body's light that God gave you, your immune system that's perfect because it's created by God. That immune system goes to work for itself and then just regenerates so many things. I mean,
Yeah.
it heals open wounds. I mean, you saw Julie Miller's dogs. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff that literally nobody in my audience should not be using, and it's not even really all that expensive. It's actually very
No.
affordable. People spend millions of dollars on age reversal nonsense, and they inject poisons in themselves to try to look better, like Botox and getting rid of stress wrinkles and trying to get elasticity back in their skin. This does it all naturally.
Right. Well, okay, so the whole thing was I've not done anything for myself except add the X39, right? That's like my main thing this year that I've done. And I got my blood work back today as compared with the end of last year. And this is the miracle part. So she wants me on Humira, which is like $1,000 injection for some people. It's very expensive. But what is X39? You know, like it's what, 150 retail, $100 if you're a member. And so for $100 a month instead of 1,000, I find out today that my inflammation is zero, that my blood work is perfect. I've been patching since the end of January, and here we go. This is exactly why I started patching. Not
Where did
only
you hear
that, but
about
the
this,
pain
by the
relief.
way?
I'm sorry.
Where did you hear about the X39 technology?
Well, I follow Crystal and I follow Julie, and I was following Crystal for the last year because I didn't like want to just jump on the next bandwagon, you know, of a new product if I hadn't seen results. And she talked about pain relief and lowering inflammation. And then it was because of my son and what I'd heard about them helping with autistic children. And this, you know, versus going into Mexico for stem cell therapy for my son, I thought this was a more affordable option. And so I was like, we're going to try these. And I had seen where they've helped other kids start talking and healing. And so that's another part of our conversation today. My nonverbal son, who has been kicked out of 2 therapies in 5 years because of no progress, 3 weeks ago said pizza. Like
He was
he
not saying
spoke.
anything before?
No, my son doesn't talk. My son is nonverbal. He can only say mom if he's wanting me and he's upset. Like that's the one word he's retained. So back when he lost his speech, which we talked about last time after the MMR vaccination and encephalitis and lots of inflammation, he stopped speaking and he hasn't spoken and he's 9. He We've tried everything. I've, sign language, the Proloquo to go program. There's a spell to speak program. There's a lot of programs now for nonverbal children to help them speak. But my son wants to talk he doesn't want to do those things. Like he's frustrated, and that's the reason why we put him on the Eon patch. And it's like night and day with him now when he wears the Eon patch. He is so much happier. He is a pleasant child. He's not so frustrated. He follows instructions better. He's doing really good in one of his therapies. The therapist, I mean, it's like it's just like he's a new child when it comes to cooperation. And
That's
I
just
was showing him
unbelievable.
food and was like, "What do you want for dinner?" And it was like two options. And he's looking down in the chair and he goes, "Pizza." And my daughter and I were like looking at each other. I called everybody in my family. I'm like, "Lewis said pizza." And it was the day I put the X39 patch on him. I usually have him just wear the Eon patch. And that day I was like, okay, he's worn the Eon patch long enough to adjust. I mean, it's obviously I'm emotional about it. And he said pizza. And then a week later, he came out in the morning and I was like, "Hello, Lewis." That's his name. And he goes, "Hello." So it's definitely getting the inflammation down in his body and helping him because, like I said, 5 years of speech therapy, not one new word, and these are both new words.
I just think that that's the most probably incredible thing that I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I mean, when your child is able to communicate with you for the first time in that long.
to speak. Like he expects me to know what he wants, and a lot of the time I do.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'm like I can't even help it. I'm like tearing up still about it. Like this is exactly why we started LifeWave was for my son more so than even for myself. And then I realized I needed it for myself too. But him talking and him being able to have a better standard of life is of course every parent's goal, especially if you have a nonverbal child. You want them to communicate so they can advocate for themselves. It's really important, you know? So,
Well,
yeah, the
the
patches.
prayers along with the X39 stuff that really did a number for both you and your son. I mean, that's
Yes.
for you to get those levels back like that, knowing that you had that feeling, you knew in your gut, you knew in your soul, yeah, no, this Humira is not right. These pharmaceuticals are not right. The
No.
way that they're making me feel isn't right. You didn't allow yourself to be gaslit into believing that this is just normal and you're supposed to feel worse after you take some poison. No, you went and you got the X39 patch. You put it on there because you knew that you probably should, and then this, and then now regular, and the thing goes away completely, and now regular blood levels, and the inflammation is zero, and your son
Yeah.
is talking like life is good. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
I really appreciate you being here to help us to like deliver this testimonial to people who actually really need to hear this, because I think that everybody needs LifeWave in their life. So
I do
thank you
too.
very much for being here, Carrie. We appreciate it. God bless you.
Thanks for having me, Stu. I appreciate it.